Hey there friends, it's Dominique from the Pixie Planner. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I apologize if I'm sounding a little bit nasally. I have been getting over a cold the past few days, but I wanted to give you an update on my budgeting system in this video. It has been quite a few months, and the last time I did a video, it was an update. I've really been just kind of trial and error, dabbling in a few different techniques and just trying to figure out what would work best for me. So in today's video, I want to share with you what actually has been working really well for me the past few months. So as you can see, I am still using the Budget by Paycheck workbook, and I actually just recently purchased her newest updated version. And so you can see I have the new cover here, which I think is just an adorable design and goes well with my binder itself. But I'm going to show you just a few pages that I've printed up, and I'll actually show you the old version versus the new version because I do still have some of my older months in here. So opening her up, what I like to do here in the front of my binder is I just keep track. I've got them covered right now. I have some cards here, some cards that are of importance that I really need to keep on hand. But I also like to keep track of any sticky notes. So I'm going to be kind of using this as a dashboard for some sticky notes. I have my pouch here. And in my pouch, I will quickly show you. I have, not only do I have some of my most used pens, but I also have my sinking funds here. And I've got kind of like a mix of stuff. So just to kind of quickly go over the sinking fund envelopes, again, this is a new version that she actually gave out in her newsletter from last month. And the designs are just so adorable. So the first one here I have is for home and car maintenance. I carried this over from my older envelope, so I just took the sticky note from my old envelope and I put it on there. That way I can just go ahead and remove and start fresh and not have to make a brand new one, because I'm actually close to being complete for my car maintenance. It's actually going to be geared more towards my car registration. It is due in October. Since we're almost there, I will again just remove the sticky note and then start all over again in October. I then have an envelope for a new car because my lease is going to be up in just over a year. Now, I have decided that I'm not going to use this. I'm actually going to be opening up a separate account with my bank because this is going to be a very large sum of money. I don't really want to be just stuffing it in an envelope. So I'm going to repurpose that. Not sure for what yet. And coming here, we have Dear Tick. Now, it probably sounds funny to a lot of people, but this is a band that my husband and I really enjoy, and they play every year at the Folk Festival in Rhode Island. So we are going to be saving up for next year's trip and concert. Then I have my Christmas envelope, medical, so this is going to be covering any prescriptions or co-pays. So I wanted to have a little bit of savings for that. Dental, this is covering any of our cleanings that we have. So we each, my husband and I each go every 6 months for a cleaning. So I am almost complete with this one. So that's really nice. And then these are two older ones. I have vacation and puppy. And so vacation we are almost ready for. And then the puppy sinking fund, I'm saving up for some puppy training. So that is a quick look at my sinking funds envelopes. And then let's flip into the first few pages I have. So these are some of the newer pages that I've recently printed up. Haven't filled that out. Don't know if I'll fill this out. I mean, this only stays at home. I'm not taking this around anywhere with me. But as far as these first few pages, I haven't really filled much out because I want to save these for actually the beginning of the year. I already have pretty much all of my goals set in stone for the remainder of the year, and I know exactly what I'm working towards. So I'm going to save these up for the beginning of the year. I have here my membership and subscriptions, and I don't really have too many. I only have 4 items here that I have recurring either monthly or annually. And then these are the sinking funds. And again, since I kind of just printed those new envelopes and I actually did tweak my sinking funds a little bit, I don't have the exact monthly amount. I am going to have a better idea though for next year of exactly what I need to be doing. With the trial and error over the past few weeks, it was just a little bit tricky because there were months where I put a whole lot more money into it than the monthly amount that I calculated. So kind of got off track, but these are the due dates that I want to stick to for those sinking funds goals. And I have just a little tab there. That way I can flip right to this page and it stays in the front of my mind. It doesn't get lost in here. Then this is a tracker for the sinking funds. You can have your beginning balance, what you're adding to it, what you're taking away, the ending balance for each month. Again, I'm going to start this in January. I don't feel like starting in, in September and getting a little bit off track. I don't know. My brain just isn't liking the idea of starting in September and then coming up to January. Call me weird, not sure, but I will start this in January. And then I have here just a fun tracker that she uses in her own budget, and I thought this was just a lot of fun. I'm very much a visual person, so I know Kamiko mentioned that she is also a visual person, and this is why she created these, and I'm very excited to now have this in my own budget binder. So keeping track of the sinking funds, just get a visual idea. And then I also printed up from her free printable library. This is another visual tracker for sinking funds. I figured I will just keep this on hand in case. And then we get into my months. So I started this in January, and I have to admit, this is the first time ever that I have stuck with a system for this long, whether it be like a planning system, a budgeting system, anything. Like, I am in this workbook pretty much every single day. And whether or not I fall off track, I have been in this consistently. So you can see January, February, March, April, and so on. So that brings us to September. Now, this is the newest layout, which I think is just beautiful. And for me, I want something that I am drawn to visually that's appealing to me. I'm going to be more likely to use it and enjoy using it and stick with it. So I really appreciate the updated version that she's done. So to give you a look at the old version, this is the old version that we have here. And I, again, have been extremely, extremely happy with this workbook over the past few months, and I'm really enjoying the newest update. You have more room here to write out your goals. I've already reached 2 of my goals that I had set for September, and I am working on goal number 2. I know I'm going to get there, so that's exciting. But for the most part, I'm still using this the exact same way. I am writing in my paydays and then highlighting the bills that I will be paying with that particular paycheck. So paycheck 1 is in pink, paycheck 2 is in orange. And then blue are the events that I have coming up for this month. Purple will be my appointments. I don't have any as of yet. And then up here where you see mortgage. So I typically will take a portion of my mortgage out from my first paycheck. That way, for my second paycheck, I'm not having to take that whole entire chunk of money out and then be left with next to nothing for the following month. I haven't printed up the new version yet, but for the following month, I would be really, really limited with how much money is in my account if I didn't split it up like that. So I just wrote here for paycheck 1, I went ahead and I removed $300 from that to put towards my mortgage, which will be paid fully with paycheck 2. And so what I have here is my first paycheck tabbed. That way I can just flip right to it. And I have my breakdown of my budgeted income. I have the bills that will be paid with that particular paycheck. I have my envelopes, which now I only have personal and food. And I have my sinking funds. I do not have any debt, so the extra money that I have is going into my emergency fund and my new car fund. So let me explain a little bit about my envelopes. So if you've watched any of my previous budgeting videos, you'll see that I had tried the cash envelope system. I even had a wallet that was specifically designed for the cash envelope system. Now, I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this, and that's absolutely fine. I'm just kind of explaining what did not work for me and what is working for me now. But living in Maine, I have found that I am very limited with time of when I am able to get to a bank because they are not within close distance to me. Things are very spread out. I work in the medical profession, so I start very early in the day and I end very late in the day. So the bank is not open in the morning and it is also closed in the afternoon when I get off work. So I found it very difficult to get to the bank and have the money withdrawn. Now that did leave me with, Saturdays to get to the bank, but a lot of times I found that it still was not working for me, whether it be because I couldn't get to the bank early enough because they do close at 11 in the morning on Saturdays, or just other circumstances. I found that there were occasions where I missed out on being able to get to the bank on Saturdays. And that also would lead to me using my debit card in those situations until I could get to the bank to withdraw money. So because of the hassle of not knowing when I would be able to make it to the bank, the cash envelopes just did not work for me. Now, I'm not saying that will never work for me. It quite possibly may work for me in the future. But what I have found right now that is working excellent, and I've been using this method for the past 3 months, is I went to my bank and I opened up a checking account, one for personal and one for food. Now, I still had my home account, which was my main checking account that is now specifically for my bills and any contributions that my husband makes towards those bills. So home is just for that need. Food, of course, is going to be for food, grocery shopping. Even if we go out to eat, that is going to be in that category. Personal is going to be for any appointments that I might have, for any clothes shopping or hobby items. If I'm purchasing a product to review on YouTube, pretty much anything that has to do with just myself, that is what I am considering my personal account. Now, I got this idea from Jordan Page. She has her own YouTube channel and website, And I watched one of her videos on just simple method for budgeting. And she used just one envelope, and it's cash envelope that she did, but she divided it into two sections. She divided it into food and other. So food would be the absolute necessities. We need that to live. And other would be kind of your other regular spending. So I kind of did the same idea with the personal and food, but I do also have my home account, which I'll show you here. I have the 3 expense trackers for these accounts. So my home is where all of the bills come out from. And this is where, I'll keep track of the money I'm transferring to my food and personal, or money that I'm transferring to my savings. Then I have food here, again, that is going to be for my grocery shopping, and say if I want to go grab a quick bite to eat somewhere, that I will also put in here. Personal, this is going to be, again, if I'm getting together with a friend, if I want to buy a beauty product, if I want to purchase an item to review on YouTube, anything that has to do with myself, this is where those items are going to go. So this has been working out extremely well for me. If I have too many things going on at once, I get very overwhelmed. And that's what I was finding with my cash envelopes. Besides the fact that it was very difficult for me to get to the bank in a timely manner, I found that having each of the sections, like I had a fun section, I had entertainment, I had groceries, and so on and so on. I found that if I was short in one area, I would start pulling from another area. And that's my own fault, discipline, that was an issue for me. But it was too easy for me to just take cash from one envelope and use it towards another. Whereas for whatever reason, my brain does not feel that it is right or feel that it's easy to transfer the money from one checking account to another. And a lot of accounts actually have a limit with how often you can do that. But I find that I have not been, if I run out of one area, I have not been diving into my food or personal account to pull from to pay for extra expenses. I just cut myself off and I just say, okay, that's it. You got to wait until next paycheck. So this has been working so much better for my brain. And I will show you here. I have my wallet next to me. So I have here my personal. This is my home, because this is the very first card that I got from my bank, all just for my bills. So I never really use that middle card. And then food. So I've got it labeled right there. It's simple. It's, to the point. And again, because I don't have any debt, I feel perfectly fine also just having these 2 accounts. If I did have debt, then I would certainly be a little bit more on top of my budgeting and a little bit more on top of what areas I might be overspending or giving myself, too much flexibility. So because of that reason as well, not having debt, I am perfectly okay with these 2 areas. And I find that I set my budget for each paycheck. And so, for example, personal, $250 is as much as I will give myself. And again, this is covering a bunch of different areas. And food, $150, I typically will have leftovers. And when I do have leftover from these accounts, I will take it and transfer it into my savings. And this has just been working so extremely well for me. I have not gone over any of these budgets. Pretty much every single paycheck, I am transferring anywhere from $30 to $10 from the account into my savings, which my emergency fund is where I've been doing most of that. I do have a goal of building my emergency fund up to $5,000, so that way I can then transfer it to a money market account. And so with that process, I have been doing awesome with my budgeting. This will not work for everyone, of course, because we are all so different, but I just wanted to share with you what has been working for me. And this, again, has been the past 3 months that I've been doing this particular method with just the two, envelopes. And I'm so, so happy. I really have not saved so much money before. It is so easy for me now doing this particular method and transferring whatever is left over into my savings, besides me already putting savings as my bill for each paycheck. So I already put $150 towards my savings from each paycheck, and then whatever is left over from these accounts goes into my savings. So it has become just so easy for me to do those quick transfers, and I really have been enjoying this so very much. I also have ordered her the Live Rich planner, and I am hoping I will get that within the next few days. I do plan on doing a review of it. I'm so excited to have that planner on top of the Budget by Paycheck workbook, and I'm going to be really excited to give you guys a peek into how I use that as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this update on what I've been doing with my budgeting. Again, I know this isn't going to be for everyone, but I think it's just so wonderful for us to all share what has been working and what is not working for us. I actually, a few months back, came across someone who had showed me that she was using debit cards individually for her cash envelopes, and that just really struck me, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to give it a try. There's no harm in it, and it actually turned out to be the best method for me at this time. So please leave any comments that you have down below. I read through all of them, and I appreciate your guys' support so very much. I will see you again soon in my next video. Bye.